Just give me a sec here. Do you hear the music?
No, I don't.
Shut up.
I honestly don't. We're 6 seconds in. 10 seconds in.
No music, huh?
Nope. Why don't you stop it and start it?
You're sure you don't hear it?
I do not.
That's incredible.
That means that nobody can hear it.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
There it is. There.
Backup music. And this is kind of funny if you think about it. Okay, that's enough. We did that. Welcome to the Sports Porch Philadelphia. Hey man, we're definitely not professional this evening, but trying as hard as we can, right?
We're not the A team. That's for sure. But we're the B team. We're the B team.
Well, tonight I feel kind of like I don't know. I feel like the A team, but I'm really more like the C team, to be honest with you. But you're watching us right now live all over the world on Facebook, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and of course, we drop the podcast right after the show, the Sports Porch Philadelphia. You can get that anywhere you get your podcasts, anywhere at all. And where can they find us? Theporcheslive.com.
Theporcheslive.com. Theporcheslive.com. Click on the Philadelphia tab. It's the only tab that matters.
You're saying that, Schwab, as if like somebody's really going to care that you can say it that way, but that's good.
Hey, you got to speak with a little emphasis. Am I right?
Yeah, right. Right. At least you're leaning into the mic. And I'm very impressed because Mark tonight sent me 3 pages of notes. 3 pages.
Because we got a lot to talk about. And it's not just Eagles. We got a lot going on positive with the Sixers and the Flyers. We're going to actually talk about that tonight. But right now, it is game day. And we have a whole bunch of things going on.
Right. And this is what was on page 1. Page 1, Eagles.
Yes. So number 1, Jalen Hurts' illness took a separate plane from the rest of the team to Seattle. Will he suit up tonight? I say probably, or else he wouldn't have gone to Seattle. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think that's his intention.
Is this the Michael Jordan flu game?
I don't know about that. That's you're the Grand Schwabini, not me. But yeah, I don't know. But my guess is he wants to play.
Right.
And if it's really just kind of like flu-like, I don't know. You know,
well,
he's gonna play. We'll That's what I'm saying. If it's just like flu-like and he gets on the plane.
But a bigger thing really that just sort of came out of nowhere. It was reported right before the 1:00 game times yesterday afternoon. The Eagles have switched out their defensive coordinator, now going with Matt Patricia, the guy with the pencil in his ear.
Right.
Who coached under Belichick for all those years and won a whole bunch of Super Bowls with the guy.
Right.
So I guess, there's 2 different ways of looking at this. One is it a panic move? It's, you got a 10-3 football team. Do we really need to change anything? Or number 2 is maybe it's needed. I mean, obviously what's going on in defense is not working, especially the last couple weeks against some of the best teams in football. Now, are there injuries? Yes. Are there maybe positions that weren't filled as well in the offseason or in the draft? Sure. But, also Sean Desai, not necessarily a guy with a track record. I mean, he had 1 decent year of being a defensive coordinator in Chicago, then went to Seattle as a kind of like a assistant head coach type role, but wasn't the DC there. Comes over to the Eagles. The Eagles win a lot of games, so nobody's really, willing to rock the boat. But there were a lot of complaints that people weren't really feeling that his scheme was effective against 2 of the best teams in football. So, the first question I have for you, Chris, is do you like an in-season coordinator switch?
You're asking me as if I like know anything. Yeah.
Well, we have to at least pretend so.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pretend. No, I
Yeah.
don't. I
You
don't.
don't. And why
No,
do you not?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not there, obviously.
Mhm.
And the defense hasn't been performing the way it performed last year. And there was already a coordinator switch. And it takes a little while for, even though he's using a lot of the same schemes and all that kind of stuff, it's a different personality, a different coach. And you got some different players, younger players. You have some injuries that happened early in the season. I mean, I'm not so sure that's the answer to the question. And right now, the Eagles are 10-3. So I don't think. Yeah, they've had a couple rough losses in there, but seriously, in the beginning of the gauntlet, they performed pretty well. They beat San Francisco and the Bills, right? So yeah, I don't like this switch.
Well, I'm
That's
gonna
an educated answer, Schwaber.
I'm gonna go on the flip side. I'm gonna go on the side of I like the switch.
Right?
Just simply because, look, I mean, Eagles defense, especially the passing defense, is, near the bottom, in terms of all the ratings.
Right.
And like what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep rolling things out the same way, or are you gonna try to make a change? I was listening to some sports talk today where they were talking about remember the Trent Dilfer Baltimore Ravens club.
Yeah.
They were 10-3 and switched their offensive coordinator and then seemingly turned it around and went on to win the Super Bowl. So it's not it's not out of the realm of the realistic to think that it could be a difference. I mean, look, Patricia's seasoned. He's won Super Bowls. Um, Now we're gonna see is that more Bill Belichick or is that more him? Who knows? But
I don't remember him having a lot of success at other places. I just remember everywhere
well,
else he went, they talked about him because he was with New England.
he went to the Patriots as a head coach. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, not the
No, no,
Patriots,
not
the
the
Lions, the
Patriots.
Lions.
The
He went
Lions,
to the
right?
Lions as a head coach.
Right.
And most people, except for Dan Campbell, fail with the Lions, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah. And the jury's still out on Campbell too. He's going to have to put together something really special.
right now,
But they look good.
here's the other part to this that is kind of interesting as well is that um, obviously you come off some really lopsided losses to the 49ers and the Cowboys. Um, look, and thank you, Cassandra. Fly Eagles fly.
And of
You
course, Pat's on track here.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Sorry, dude.
that's okay. Um, I think that when you think about um, the Eagles defense, when you give up the amount of points that they've given up over the last couple weeks,
Right.
look, not everything's going to be rosy, you know.
Exactly. That's what
And
I'm saying.
so I think there were I don't know if you want to call it finger pointing or if it was correct, but I did hear that there were some players that were saying things like we're not being put into a defense that makes sense lately. And
Right.
so what they mean by that is they're calling blitzes and rushes of the quarterback, yet which is forcing the opponent to make short throws to
Right.
counteract that. But yet we have our cornerbacks and our safeties are playing 15-yard cushions,
Right.
right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking at it really as schematically as that comment that I heard earlier today. But
Right.
if that's the case, then that is a problem, and it is something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see. Now, also
Yeah.
you've got Darius Slay out,
Yes.
and that's not good because he is our best cover corner.
And I hate how they try to rush these guys back. I feel like that it can ruin their career.
Well, it's kind of interesting too. I've heard some people talking today about how they think he shouldn't have had the surgery. That arthroscopic basically means you should play through it versus, hey, we're already in the playoffs. Let's get you 100% for the playoffs.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. You can never really tell. It's only the player really knows how much it's bothering them, right?
Yes.
Maybe what he's able to do is he's able to play the cornerback position well, but he's not able to play it great. Maybe he doesn't have the burst to jump in front of a pass, intercept it, and take it back to the house. So if that's what he's trying to do, then I don't really have that much of a problem with it. Now, one thing I want to just take a quick look at here is how in the world are the Eagles going to cover DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett tonight?
I got 2 words for you. Drew Lock.
well, hopefully.
Done.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right. But no, I think, didn't DK have a good game last week with Drew Lock? I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did, but I mean, let's just get serious here. First of all, Geno Smith is their starting quarterback, and I know he's looked better than the Geno Smith that got drafted,
right,
14 years ago or whatever it was.
Right.
But even he's no Brock Purdy. So
nobody's Brock Purdy.
Right. But you get what I'm saying. And so just because Drew Lock, found DK Metcalf long a couple times doesn't mean they're going to gel this week. I don't see that happening.
Well, I just
think, yeah, we'll see. And look, if he does, and they do score a lot, that backs up my case that they shouldn't get rid of the defensive coordinator, because in my opinion, that'll be because somebody got confused. So,
maybe so. Now, let's also just turn our attention to, how about the Dallas Cowboys getting absolutely clobbered by those Buffalo Bills?
God, that was a fantastic game to watch.
Is that just classic Dallas though? They beat the crap out of the Eagles and they're celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. And then, next week they don't show up to Buffalo and get their ass handed to them. And now they're in 5th place again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it was beautiful to watch. And what was even better was that Josh Allen had, for all intents and purposes, I know he rushed for a touchdown and he threw for one, but really he threw for 94 yards.
Right.
And
well, he didn't need to do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
The ball down their throat.
I know. James Cook had 179 yards rushing and 42 reception yards. So that was joyous. and then their defense just made Dak look like he had no idea what he was doing. No idea whatsoever. So it was good to watch. It was good to see. I wasn't even thinking about the Eagles. I was thinking about how much I hate the Cowboys. That's really what it was.
And you know what, too, though? Like, I'll tell you, doesn't it kind of annoy you? I was hoping for some more, like shots of Jerry Jones. I wanted to see Jerry Jones miserable. I hate it when, like, it's like they could be playing like the Arizona Cardinals at home and they're winning 40-0. And the Cowboys score a touchdown. And it's like Jerry Jones high-fiving like every wealthy person imaginable in his box.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, come on, give me the sad shot, give me the what's going on shot.
Yeah, show the shot of him like throwing a drink against the glass. God damn it. Yeah. That would be great. I know. They always, and the other thing about Jerry Jones is that I'm not 100% sure of this, but I'm I would say maybe 30%. He's a robotic replacement. The real Jerry Jones died a long time ago. That guy is
probably
old.
Right. Conspiracy theories.
That guy is so old. You know what I'm saying?
He's dead. Yeah. He's really dead.
You heard it here first. That's a robot.
Right. We'll be right back on Fox News.
Yeah, right. Exactly. See, now you're starting to get it, Mark. You're
I'm
starting
getting
to
it
get it.
now.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. I'm
So
getting it.
let's
So
let's talk really quick here. We got 15 minutes on the Eagles already, and they
yeah.
deserve it, of course. So let's
What do
move
you think?
on.
Well, what do we
Yeah,
think?
go for it.
Are we gonna make our game day predictions?
Yeah, you want to do that? They're saying, by the way, they're saying live that Hurts is expected to play.
Okay.
So
Okay. Then I'm gonna take the Eagles in a 28-25 victory.
yeah, that's a tight one. I know why.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Steelers freak is actually here. He's waiting for the next show, but he says
Well,
Jones.
hey, he hates Dallas as much as
I know.
anybody,
I
so
know.
we
He's
welcome that.
welcome. Yeah,
We
that's right.
welcome that.
To the fans for years, Dallas is the new Jonestown. This is a tough call here because I feel like that change at coordinator is going to affect them, and I'm not sure which direction.
Mm.
Um, if it's really good, they'll win. If it's really bad, they won't.
Well,
So,
also, I mean, also think about this as well.
well, wait, don't
So
don't
the
give me don't give me advice on how to make up my mind. Let me make up my own
okay,
mind. How about that? How about that?
okay, okay.
All right,
Hey,
because I know you want me to pick the Eagles. I know you do.
I
Deep
don't want
down
you.
inside.
You can pick whoever you want. This is
Okay, good. All right. So I'm gonna go with Seattle. I'm gonna go with 21-18.
oh
Hertz is under the weather. The defensive
oh
coordinator it doesn't make a difference. Seattle could have scored 21 against either coordinator, but
mm,
they do it on a late field goal. And the only
oh
reason I'm tipping it that way is because they're playing in Seattle, and
yeah.
Hertz flew all the way across country.
Yeah.
That's all I got to
Also,
say about that.
also too, one other interesting little tidbit.
Yeah.
The Eagles have never beaten Pete Carroll. They're
Okay.
oh
So
they're 0-7 against Pete Carroll.
yeah, so you can say they're due, or you can say he's got their number, and that's what I think. I believe in that. Belichick
Well,
beat the Steelers again, the horrible
although
team. So
although here's the other way you could look at it. None of those 7 games occurred with Jalen Hurts, and none of those 7 games occurred with who was the Seattle quarterback?
yeah, Russell Wilson,
No, but none of the games occurred with who's starting tonight?
Drew Lock, right?
Drew Lock, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
both
2 words.
quarterbacks
12.
not
You
a
could have
part of
shortened that.
both quarterbacks not a part of any of the games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you could have shortened that entire spot right there and
I
said
can shorten just about anything. Like
two
what I said
words,
right
Drew Lock.
there.
Right.
I could just say, "Blah." I could I don't have
All
to
right.
talk. I don't have to
All
talk if you
right.
don't want me
All
to.
right. All right. You sent in the notes and I'm taking the notes right there. Okay. So we're gonna talk about one more quick thing. You want to know
Okay.
is if Dallas will lose at Miami or home against lose at Miami or against the Lions the next 2 weeks, and does it even matter? I think Dallas has a problem on defense. So here's what Steelers
Yeah.
Freak says: Dallas doesn't have the type of inside linebackers to stop the run. It's out now, right? They got a lot of
Well,
injuries on that defense,
here's the
and,
thing.
and they're small. They're small,
Well, the other thing too is they're a much different team at home. They're like 5-0 at home, with scoring like 35 points a game, and on the road they're 3-4, scoring 19 points a game. So I
right?
think if they're going down to Miami, I think Miami's going to whack them.
Probably,
Wouldn't surprise me if they get right against the Lions, being a home game, and obviously they're going to have some urgency. But
right?
the whole point that I was trying to make is for the Eagles to have the number 2 seed, all they have to do is tie Dallas. So for Dallas to have the number 2 seed, Dallas has to have one more win than the Eagles. So if the Eagles lose to Seattle tonight, as long as Dallas either loses to Miami or the Lions. Now, granted, I'm assuming that the Eagles take 2 from the Giants and 1 from the Cardinals.
Right.
But if that happens, if Dallas loses 1 of Miami or the Lions, tonight's game doesn't even matter anyway.
Okay, Schwaber. So first, I got to tell you that I hope your generator kicked in. So,
No,
are
I'm
you
fine.
there? You
Why?
good? Okay. All right. You're a little
Are you-
sketchy. Yeah, you're breaking
Oh.
up a little bit. There we go. This is why. This is why I say we should do it. In house all the time. But hey, who's going to listen to me? I'm only the technical director. Pat has a comment up here about something that has to do with an old friend of ours in Seattle, and I'm just not putting that up because it's completely off track.
It has nothing to do with
Do you
anything.
see that comment? Do you see that
The,
comment?
the only thing it has to do with anything is that it's something that happened in Seattle, but has no relation to football at all
Yeah.
or any sport, unless you want to call pool a sport.
I don't even know. I don't even know why. It's
All right,
strange. So
it's
okay,
Sixers time.
Dallas is going to lose at Miami. That's where I'm going with that one. Sorry, guys. Page 2 in the notes is the Sixers here, and
Now, let me first share with you. In my car ride home this evening from physical therapy, I heard some really interesting stats. Now, I don't know if you paid attention to this, Kleiner. Are you aware that the Sixers have like won the last 3 games by like 50 points a game?
yeah. Somebody
Um,
mentioned a practice game
yeah.
online or something like
So,
that,
so
right?
apparently, in terms of point differential, the Sixers are the only team in the history of NBA basketball that over a 5 game span has like outscored their opponents by a certain amount of points. Like
Right,
Jordan's Bulls didn't do it. Curry's Golden State Warriors didn't do it. Like they're beating people at an insane rate.
right.
And then the other thing is Joel Embiid on the season. Having played what is it? They're 18-7. So that's how many games? 25?
That would
Yep,
be correct math.
25. Through 25 games, Joel Embiid is averaging 34.2 points per game,
Right,
and he is averaging 32 minutes a game.
right.
No player since Wilt Chamberlain has scored a point per minute. All the way back, all the way
You
back
can't
to
even go on.
1950.
You
All the way
can't go
back to
on with this
1950.
thought. You can't
What?
go on with this thought anymore now that Steve said
Right.
accused you of using
Right.
unnecessary statistics.
Hey, all I'm
I don't want
saying
to hear
is
it. I'm done.
all I'm saying is that Joel Embiid is averaging more than a point per minute. Has Michael Jordan ever done this?
Yep,
No.
yep.
Has Kobe
Joe,
Bryant ever done this?
no.
No.
Joel,
Has any other basketball player besides Wilt Chamberlain ever done this? No. We're
Joel
actually
Embiid.
we're actually seeing things that are otherworldly right now. Now it
Joel
all
Embiid is a
now it all
bad man.
That's right.
How about
Now
that?
it all will mean nothing if they don't win in the second round of the playoffs. But
Do you think Steve was scared or is he laughing after I did that?
we have no idea. We have no idea. But anyway, he's also fifth in rebounding at
Yeah.
11.7 rebounds per game. Anthony Davis, who's in first, only has 12.5. So he's pretty close to first in that too.
Right. Right.
Also, I think worthy noting Tyrese Maxey is 15th in scoring, 25.6 points per game and 6.7 assists. That's pretty darn good.
Right.
And we're third in the East. We're 2 games behind the Celtics, half game behind the Bucks. And the Sixers have the best, obviously, with those 50, point win outbursts. The Sixers
Right.
have the best point differential in the NBA at plus 11.9. Second is the Celtics at plus 9.1.
Right.
I
Right.
know you're always
So,
big on point differential, Klein.
oh yeah, absolutely. Huge. Huge.
But
Yeah. No, I think they're look, their head coach obviously was the right choice.
Right.
Right.
The guy can coach, and
Right.
Maxi is ascending, and they've got a lot of good role players. Like
Yep.
they can go 10 deep now,
Yeah.
with guys who can actually play.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And
um
let's see him keep this up the whole year.
mhm.
That's the thing is it's
Yeah.
a grind.
Yeah,
And but if the guys are
injuries.
buying into it, if they're
Actually,
buying into it already, then
yeah.
that's a good sign.
And you know what's actually crazy about this whole thing? With those numbers that I just gave you on Joel Embiid, he hasn't played the fourth quarter in like the last 4 games. It's insane. He hasn't played the
Right.
fourth quarter. They don't need to, so they rest him. It's like
Right.
getting
Right.
extra rest,
Yeah,
you know?
it really is. And as Steve says, it's so obvious now.
Yes.
Getting rid of Harden was addition by subtraction. Yeah, I mean the coach, they probably would be a little better this year if they still had Harden because the coach is going to make a difference. And maybe he didn't gel with the coach either, and he likes this guy. But honestly, Harden was a poison in that team in the locker room and on the court. So you got rid of him with a brand new coach. Hey, let's
Right.
let's keep this up. I might start watching basketball again
Yeah, and hey, I'll tell you what, you know what?
instead of reading
I
your 3 pages of notes.
I didn't look, I didn't even know if I would purposefully even talk about the Flyers this year.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really I
Are
really
are we
had
moving to page 3 right now? Is that
yeah,
what
it's
we're doing? Yeah,
page
it's
3.
page 3. All
Page
right,
3
page 3.
Flyers.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying here is my goodness. They're in second place in the Metro with the
Why?
best record in all of hockey over the last 5 weeks.
Okay, so first, the my goodness part, we could have changed that a little.
Oh my. Good lord.
Yeah, yeah, right. You're so edgy, Schwaber. Anyway,
Yeah.
right. That's what are they? 17, 10, and 3, right? With
There's yeah,
almost
there's
40% of the season gone.
right, right. I
Not
mean,
too shabby, man.
it's crazy, and it's
No.
not like it's not like it's really dependent on one thing either. I mean, they're 8-6-1 at home. They're 9-4-2 on the road. They're
Right.
plus 11 in goal differential.
Right.
Now, I would say certainly one of the big keys is that they got 2 very good goaltenders at this point in time. So, Carter Hart, he's 8th in the league at a 2.42 goals against. Then you have he's also 9th in save percentage at 919, and Sam Urson is 13th with a 2.57 goals against. So
Right.
every night they're throwing somebody good out there in goal. Um, they also have Nick Seeler, who's 11th in the league in plus minus at a plus 14 on defense. And I think what it's kind of coming down to is everybody's kind of getting good at the same time. Like, we've had all these number 1 picks from over the years. So think about it. We got Travis Konechny, Sean Couturier, Travis Sanheim, Joel Farabee, Owen Tippett, Tyson Forster, Cam York, Scott Loughton, Morgan Frost, all first round picks. Second round picks, Carter Hart, Bobby Brink. And then I think they've mixed in a good combination of sort of those mucking and grinding players with a Paling, a Ristolainen, a Walker, a Nick Delorier, a Stahl, a Hathaway. And as what Steve is saying is the torch factor. I mean, they do have a very good coach who has them playing a system. Some of the good goaltending has to deal with the fact that they often are not facing a lot of shots. Now sometimes they are, but a lot of the time they're not. And that's a lot of block shots. It's buying into the system. Like if you really look at, like, for example, offensive statistics, I mean, the best guy that they have is Travis Konechny, who's 25th in points. Um,
One of my favorite hockey names of
well,
all
actually,
time.
actually, I'm
Connect me
sorry. I'm sorry. He's not 25th. He's 62nd in points.
in scoring,
Um,
but
he's,
ninth in
he's
goals scored.
Yeah,
Right.
but ninth in goals scored, 25 points in 30 games. But that's about it. I mean, it's basically a team full of guys where like everybody has between like, 6 and 10 goals,
Everybody's scoring. Everybody's
it's like,
scoring.
yeah, it's like, all four lines are contributing in some way, shape, or form. So,
That's the point of hockey.
well, yeah, he's got a system going. Now, I don't know how long it's going to go for. I mean, honestly, I look down at my phone because I can't watch all the games because I don't have like the NHL package. But I
Right.
look down at my phone like all the time, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're winning against this team. like what? Really?
Yeah.
Like
So
an-
sorry.
another
So sorry to surprise you.
another shutout? I mean, honestly, when I when I when I think back to,
Why does the guy from Pittsburgh always troll us
well,
during these?
it's actually kind of interesting. The first moment of the season that I actually started paying attention to the Flyers was when they took two from the Penguins in the back and back, home and home. And
Right.
I was like, wow, like they never take two from the Penguins.
Right.
Like that's
There's something
impossible.
go. There's something afoot. There's
Yeah, it's
something
something about.
afoot.
Now
Yeah.
it also could mean there's something afoot in that maybe the Flyers are uh, turning a corner, but it also could mean that maybe the Penguins just
Penguins
aren't,
suck.
that they're not that good. Um,
Look at this.
hey,
Here he is. Contrary
yeah,
Steve showing up
actually,
just
actually,
right on cue.
you know what's so funny about that? There were
Right.
years where the Penguins won like every shootout imaginable. Remember there was that guy Kobe Armstrong that like couldn't miss a shootout goal?
Yeah, I
And
think
and
so.
and the Flyers never could win a shootout. Now all of a sudden this year they're like undefeated in shootouts. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they're, what can you do? I guess eventually it all turns around. See, I'm a big believer in that. Like I believe, like, for example, the Buffalo Bills, like there will be, look, we all know that they lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, but there
Well,
will be some time
most of us
there
know that.
there will be a time, I don't know if it's when we're alive or dead, but there will be a time where the Buffalo Bills are dominant again,
Right.
and they will
Yeah.
they will win like 4 in 10 years. Like
Who
it
knows?
will it will
I don't
happen.
care. And I personally don't care if it ever happens.
Well, by that time there'll be no
Sorry,
more
Pat.
Super Bowls. By that time there'll be no more Super Bowls. It'll
Yeah,
be
it'll
the
be the
World
World Bowl.
World
Yeah.
Bowl. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So who cares if Buffalo beats Barcelona 4 straight years in a legendary World Bowl? It wasn't the Super Bowl. Too bad.
Hey, dude, Barcelona is going to be tough.
Yeah, they're going to be tough this year. You
They're going to be really tough. Yeah.
think they'll take down the Cowboys?
Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, I mean, I actually, it, why are the Cowboys even like mentioned nearly as much as they are? They're like completely irrelevant. They've had like one playoff win since like 1993.
This
Like
is the this
it's like 25 years of irrelevancy.
Yeah. Well, folks, I just want to welcome you to a true Philly fan comment.
Mm.
They're the
No, but
Cowboys.
I
The
think most
Cowboys.
people would agree with that. I think
Well,
most people would agree with that.
dude, they're America's team. I mean,
I guess
they
they are.
they branded it. You know what I mean? They like marketing. It's marketing.
The
They just,
star.
I mean, look, the Eagles missed out. The Eagles missed out. I guarantee you, I was saying it as he was typing it, Steve typing it. So the Eagles, they missed out because that's where the Declaration of Independence was signed. That's where the country was truly founded. If there is any team that's America's team, it's the Eagles. And look, I'm not going to say that easily. Steve also says it's the cheerleaders, and coming from him, that's true. So, it is what it is. I hate him as much as anybody else. Hey, remember who I was? A
It is
Redskins fan.
right. It is.
I
It
hate
is. It is. But it is great though to also know that the Cowboys are completely irrelevant.
Every year they tease their fans. This is what I actually love. Every year they tease their fans into thinking that they're going to be relevant.
Right.
And they even tease me where I'm thinking like, oh, could they be? This would really suck. If they were
Yeah.
back on top, I would hate that. I would hate
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And then they kind of fail, and that's good to watch. I'm always worried when they're 10-4, even though they just got their asses handed to them. I'm always
Right.
worried that they're going to make a run, and next thing you know, there's going to be video of Jimmy Johnson going, "How about them Cowboys?" I hate that shit, and
You
I don't
realize
like Fox Sports either because he's on it. But anyway, go ahead.
you realize that like there's almost no players in the league that were alive when the Dallas Cowboys last won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know it's depressing. Okay, it's depressing.
No,
You
I
know?
think it's great. I think it's great.
No, because there's also that means there's even less players that were alive in the league when the last time the Redskins won a Super Bowl. Okay, even less players.
Mm,
So you want to talk about irrelevant? Let's
mm,
talk about the Washington franchise. I'm being serious.
mm-hmm.
They have become completely irrelevant ever since they changed the name. And nobody cares.
They have a glimmer of hope though.
No,
I'm sure
no,
Ron
no, the
Rivera will be
ownership.
out.
Yeah. No, please.
New ownership. Ron Rivera will be out. Maybe they'll
I
draft a quarterback.
look, I like what he's doing with the Sixers. Absolutely. I thank God every day that it is not what's his name? Dan Snyder. And but until he switches the name back, I will never be a fan. Just won't happen. That now bringing it back to the Eagles. That's their secret. They play in a crap division. Hey, listen, man.
Hey,
There's
no crappier division in the history of football than the Steelers division.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I mean,
Jeez, oh man.
Bengals,
Yeah.
Browns, and who else?
The Ravens, who are the old Browns.
Right.
So even their history, especially if you go off of the whole thing about us saying it only matters in the Super Bowl era, because Cleveland won a bunch of championships with what's his name, Jim Brown and Otto Graham and all that. I mean, they had some historically good teams, but honestly, they in the Super Bowl era, they've been absolute utter garbage. And so have the Bengals. I thought you liked Flacco and Burrow. Come on, guys. Hey, listen, this is a new, football's changed. We like the individuals. We like to get mines in fantasy football, right? The teams are still garbage.
The Bengals have made 2 Super Bowls. They just haven't won one yet.
Yeah, well, they did. They made a Super Bowl in the '80s that they lost. Big deal. The Bills lost 4 straight in the '90s. They weren't relevant forever.
Well, hey, remember the what was it? The Broncos, I believe, lost 2 or 3 before winning. Before winning 3. And
absolutely.
So did the Patriots. I think the Patriots lost 3 before winning with Brady. All those
a whole
times.
Bunch, a whole bunch. Yeah, sure, it can happen, right? I get you, but
it's hard to win.
You started answering that question, and I was shaking my head yes because I knew exactly what you were going to say. That the AFC North is by far, or is it the Steelers in the AFC North, right?
I mean, we'll say, look, the Ravens are competitive, but I mean, pretty much. I mean, until recently, I mean, you pretty much start the year out 4-0.
Yeah, some of the worst football I've ever watched in my life, and I watched games where the Redskins had their 7th quarterback of the year in, and it was like that's horrible football. Every game I watched in the Browns Steelers division this year, which is unfortunately a lot of them, have all been on that level. They have all been horrible football games to watch.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the Eagles, you get they try to take the top off.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for that. Speaking of which, are we done with page 3 in the Flyers? Because
we're done with page 3.
I feel like that you actually gave me notes with the entire roster of the Philadelphia Flyers on it. And I was like, oh no, we're not talking about every single one of these guys.
I did. No,
yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
So it'll be an interesting game tonight. I mean,
it will. And you were at 20. What did you say? 21, 24, 21 Eagles.
28, 25 Eagles.
Right. And I said 21-18 because Seattle on on a last minute blah blah thing or something like that.
Mhm.
I'm getting confused with all the buttons I have to push right now, so that means it's time to start. I don't know, man. Say that again, Schwaber. I brought the music down.
We gotta save our voices for later because we're gonna be screaming, we're gonna be hooting and hollering
Yep,
because
yep.
the Eagles are getting back in the mix tonight, people.
There you go. All right,
God
listen.
hope so.
Thank you for watching the Sports Porch Philadelphia all over the world on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and we're going to drop the podcast right after the show. And you can always get it at
That's it.
the Sports Porch Philadelphia. Now we're still live, buddy. The Sports Porch Philadelphia on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just subscribe and listen, and just be a part of the crowd.
Be a part. We'll see you later.
Oh, this was a fun. Go!